On the morning of November 15th, 2025, at the expansion site of Chinese automaker BYD's superfactory at the Zhengzhou Airport Economy Zone, a dull boom rang out. Right after that, a massive steel structure collapsed. 3 workers were buried on the spot. After the accident, Zhengzhou's major local media went completely silent. Only the website of the Henan Provincial Department of Housing and Urban Rural Development posted a short note on November 17th. It is said that on November 15th, a structural collapse occurred at the DK5 Phase 5 expansion project of the New Energy Components Industrial Park at the Zhengzhou Airport Economy Zone, resulting in 3 fatalities. But Zhengzhou's local forums and WeChat public accounts were quiet, as if nothing had happened. The incident didn't appear anywhere on the trending search list. The collapse site was supposed to be the core site of a superfactory designed to produce 1 million vehicles a year. The root of the tragedy was what many called the infrastructure mania. To hit construction deadlines, the contractor treated safety measures as optional. The supervising company collected large supervision fees, yet ignored clear violations on site. The general contractor, subcontractors, and labor teams passed the work down layer by layer, slicing off profits each time. By the end, the crew doing the actual work didn't even want to buy proper safety nets. Earlier, the Zhengzhou BYD plant's massive land leveling work, foundation piling, and factory construction were all completed in only 17 months. Others would need 3 to 4 years for a project of that size. Officials proudly called it Henan speed. Beneath it all was an absurd dance between capital and power. Zhengzhou saw BYD as its lifeline. The airport economy zone treated attracting investment as its top political achievement. Local authorities opened every green light, pushing planning approvals, environmental assessments, and building permits through special fast-tracking. With 70 billion yuan of investments on the table, who would dare say no? Safety regulators were reduced to bystanders. Quality inspectors became a formality, and fire safety approvals turned into box-ticking exercises. Public anger spread like wildfire. One person said, "Shoddy construction isn't an exception anymore. It's the normal state of China's infrastructure." Another wrote, "Under the double pressure of capital and political achievement, human life has become the cheapest consumable." Someone else cut straight to the point. BYD is number 1 in the world at building cars and number 1 at building graves. On November 17, 2025, at 11:16 a.m., the ceiling above the escalator on the 3rd floor of the Longfor Changle Tianjie commercial project in Xi'an collapsed. A video shows the ceiling suddenly cracking apart, with about 30 square meters of gypsum board and steel framework hitting customers below. In the video, dust fills the air, debris scatters everywhere, and screams and cries mix together. People on the escalator scramble to avoid the falling pieces. Some were hit directly on the head or body, and the ground was covered in fallen gypsum pieces. One video uploader filmed the chaos, showing the debris falling like snowflakes, striking one middle-aged woman on the shoulder. She curled up on the ground in pain, while others around her were in a panic. An eyewitness trembled as they described the incident. "I heard a loud boom, and the ceiling came down. Several people collapsed and couldn't get up." This mall was supposed to be a proud landmark for Xi'an. On November 14th, it had a grand opening, 99% occupancy rate, and a 98% opening rate. Promoted as the first transit-oriented development project in northwest China, it was a super complex, integrating shopping, dining, and entertainment. It had a total investment of over 5 billion yuan. Longfor Group boldly claimed that it would reshape the commercial landscape of Xi'an's northern new city and drew numerous locals and tourists. On opening day, there was drumming, ribbon cutting, and the building was decorated with colorful ribbons and banners, declaring a new era in northwest China's commerce. But just 3 days later, this new era collapsed in a catastrophic way. The official statement released after the incident said 8 people were injured, including 3 with fractures and 5 with minor injuries. In just 3 days since its opening, 30 square meter section of the ceiling fell, causing a terrifying moment for many families. Most of the injured were ordinary shoppers. Some were shopping with children. Others were just passing by the escalator. Yet in an instant, they became victims. A popular post pointed to the root cause. Rushing the construction schedule, the renovation team used subpar materials for the ceiling's steel frame, while the inspection process was just a formality and safety checks were practically non-existent. A construction worker uploaded a video.
The
collapse of the ceiling at Longhu Tianjie Xi'an isn't a random incident. It's an inevitable outcome of the current downward spiral and overcompetition in the construction industry. Many veteran engineers are no longer shocked by such accidents because they know the tricks behind them. Almost all projects on the market today have no lowest price, only lower prices. The contractors, in order to win the bid, cut their prices by 10 to 20%. This means the client saves millions, but behind the low bids are layers of subcontracting. The winning contractor may not even do the work themselves. They pocket the money and subcontract the work to another company, which further subcontracts to smaller teams. These subcontractors then hire cheap, non-professional labor and use substandard materials to complete the project. With this kind of exploitation, how can you expect good quality?
What we're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. This year, there have been several similar incidents nationwide. The BYD factory expansion in Zhengzhou resulted in 3 deaths. A pedestrian bridge collapsed at a mall in Hefei, injuring 5 people, and the outer wall of an office building in Changsha fell off. The tragedy at the Longfor Mall is just one part of a broader safety crisis. Under the Chinese communist system, there are countless shoddy construction projects. Officials involved in construction projects are often corrupt, as they need to steal public funds to enrich themselves. Naturally, this leads to cutting corners. In a regime without checks and balances, they do as they please, and the ones who suffer most are the people. One veteran builder commented, "After 30 years in the industry, my conclusion is money flows down from the top, and disaster falls up from the bottom." On the morning of September 1st, 2025, a collapse occurred of a tower crane at a construction site in Changhua District, Chengdu, Sichuan Province. The accident resulted in 1 death at the scene and 4 others who later died despite rescue efforts. A video shows the tower crane swaying like a drunken man before the top suddenly twisted and deformed. The jib and balance arm, along with the cabin, crashed to the ground, smashing the scaffolding and cement below. Comments exploded online. Another tragedy where lives are sacrificed for speed. China Railway 22nd Bureau, even a state-owned giant, is playing with substandard construction. The lives of low-level workers are as cheap as grass, dismantling tower cranes by themselves with no safety ropes, no professional team, just gambling with their lives. This is the brutal truth of workers trading their lives for money. The tower crane operators climb dozens of meters each day, enduring extreme heat and cold in a tiny 2-square-meter cabin, but they may not even have basic insurance. When accidents happen, the labor contracts have numerous loopholes, and the road to seeking justice is as long as climbing a mountain. Behind the crane collapse are fake installation qualifications, ineffective supervision, and the reckless mentality of companies treating safety as an afterthought. Blogger Mr. Long uploaded a video.
Come friends, let me show you. Look at this manhole cover. I'll tell you, it should have been made of iron for safety to prevent someone from falling in. But look at what this project has become. This isn't iron at all. It's made of cement. Let me show you this material, cement. Let's drop it and see. Look at this project. It looks the same, but it's completely different.
Mr. Long says, this kind of heartless, substandard construction directly jeopardizes people's lives and safety, especially something like a manhole cover that we interact with daily. Even a small shortcut in construction can lead to hidden dangers. So, whether it's the product manufacturer, construction company, or regulatory bodies, they must strictly control the quality at every step. Every manhole cover must be tested for safety. Only then can we say we truly care about the safety of the people, and only then can it truly be called a conscientious project. China's corruption has reached shocking levels. Recently, a video showing counterfeit steel bars from China went viral online. The video reveals that the so-called steel bars are just thin rods covered in a thick shell, mimicking the appearance of real rebar. When the plastic shell is removed, the steel bar is revealed to be just a thin strip. This is a clear sign that Chinese construction materials are being faked. In recent years, numerous bridges in China have collapsed, likely due to the use of substandard steel. Many people have even removed fake rebar from their own homes. China's obsession with infrastructure construction is now leading to frequent collapses, and these kinds of accidents have become a norm. Recently, in the Baoyan high-speed rail's Yinba branch line, another terrifying incident occurred. On November 13, 2025, near a high-speed rail bridge pier on the outskirts of Yinchuan, there was an unfinished section of the Yinba branch line of the Baoyan high-steel rail. In the video, the reporter, wearing gloves, crouches next to a steel beam and gently scratches a seemingly solid rubber board with a small knife. The board cracks open, like tearing an old piece of paper. When he pulls at it, the rubber strip snaps easily, with the break rough like sandpaper. This is evidence from a reporter's on-site investigation. The bridge connecting Yinchuan to Bayanhauer used substandard materials. The rubber used in the bridge's construction was of poor quality. How bad was the quality of the rubber used in the bridge? It was so bad you could peel it off with your hands. The inspection report shows a tensile strength of 1.78 megapascals, only 15% of the national standard 12 megapascals. The material is low-end isoprene rubber, not the required weather-resistant ethylene propylene diene monomer rubber. EPDM rubber can withstand temperatures from negative 40 degrees Celsius to 80 degrees Celsius, with an elasticity recovery rate of over 95%. This type of rubber ensures the stability and longevity of bridge structures. Poor quality rubber, on the other hand, can lead to issues like air leakage, water seepage, or oil leaks. It is more likely to fail under high temperatures, high pressure, or strong acidic or alkaline conditions, potentially causing equipment malfunctions or even safety accidents. The Yinba branch line, about 200 kilometers long, is the northwest extension of the Baoyin high-speed rail. With an investment of several hundred billion yuan, it aims to connect Ningxia to the Inner Mongolia grasslands and boost logistics along the Belt and Road Initiative. The project broke ground in 2023, with the China Railway's 16th Bureau proudly claiming to create a green high-speed rail, quality engineering. Construction is fast-paced, with bridge piers rising like mushrooms after the rain. What's even more infuriating is that this poor quality rubber isn't an isolated case, but rather a mass-produced problem. The reporter visited several work sites, all using this substandard rubber that can be torn by hand. According to reports, from the transition beams on the eastern side of Yinchuan to the continuous beams at the foot of Helan Mountain, the rubber boards were used in large quantities, and they all showed signs of substandard quality. At one bridge site, workers privately complained, "This stuff will age in just one winter, and when a train passes, it shakes you to your core." Elsewhere, inspection logs were stamped qualified, but spot checks revealed the truth. Experts said this practice of using substandard materials wasn't a technical mistake, but a collective failure in the supply chain. Upstream suppliers mixed recycled rubber pallets into the material, mid-level subcontractors undercut prices, and downstream workers rushed through installations, ultimately burying the risks in the concrete and steel. This news exploded on social media. Some shared similar past incidents. The rubber on the Beijing-Shanghai high-speed rail's branch line degraded and almost caused a derailment 2 years ago. Last year, substandard construction on the Lanzhou-Xinjiang line's branch piers caused a collapse during the rainy season. A retired engineer commented, "With such low tensile strength, when a train goes by at 300 kilometers per hour, the bridge's fatigue cracks will spread in an instant. Once the waterproofing fails, the steel will rust faster, shortening the bridge's lifespan by 20 years. In the frantic race for China speed, people are starting to ask, if the guardians of safety are so fragile, can we trust the speeding trains to continue on safely? The safety issues in China's infrastructure are fundamentally systemic, structural, and the result of long-term accumulation. For the past 20 years, China's most celebrated achievement has been its infrastructure mania. High-speed rails, highways, airports, factories, and urban complexes are often signed, started, and completed within a year. The core driver of this speed is the local government's pursuit of political achievements, attracting investments, meeting fixed asset investment targets, and achieving GDP growth, all of which directly affect officials' career advancement. Safety investments, however, are given little weight in the evaluation system and are often seen as a cost that slows down progress. Why have the regulatory bodies under the CCP system become mere decorations? In reality, 99% of the supervision companies are appointed by the general contractors, with their salaries, accommodations, and office spaces provided by the contractors. In this kind of give-and-take relationship, the supervisors dare not truly enforce regulations. It's common for supervisors to nap on construction sites, play with their phones, or even play cards during work hours. According to official disclosures from the Chinese government, in 2023, the Ministry of Emergency Management randomly inspected 500 ongoing projects and found that 412 of them had supervision logs that were completely inconsistent with the actual construction progress. This practice is described as creating the plan behind closed doors. China, as the infrastructure mania powerhouse, has built the most houses, the tallest buildings, the longest bridges, and the most factories. Yet it treats the people who build them with the most careless attitude. This is not a natural disaster, it's a man-made one that is knowingly and systematically caused by the system.